Welcome to Afrique 24. I'm Alex Ogega, and we are diving right into the trending topics shaking up the Kenyan politics this week. The spotlight is on the recent impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, a move that started significant political waves. This decision has left many wondering if it might shift the Kikuyu voting bloc, a traditionally influential constituency in Kenyan politics. Interestingly, Mount Kenya elders have already voiced their support for Gachagua, urging Kenyans not to abandon him despite his ouster. President William Ruto has been making headlines with his ambitious plans to vaccinate 22 million cattle in January 2025. This initiative highlights his administration's commitment to supporting agriculture, a vital part of Kenyan economy and livelihood for millions. On the international stage, President Ruto has extended congratulations to Donald Trump on his US election victory. This gesture could signal a potential shift of strengthening in US Kenya relations as Kenya looks to solidify its strategic ties with Washington. Lastly, in a significant development concerning transparency, UDA's Oscar Sudi has pledged to reveal high-ranking officials involved in alleged rigged tenders. This could uncover some major corruption issues reflecting the ongoing public demand for accountability in governance. Stay tuned as we unpack these stories and the implications. Uh, I want to introduce my fellow panelists on the show, Mzalendo and Bonnie. Uh, Thank you guys for joining me. Kindly give us your opening remarks on the show tonight.
Mm. Thank you, Alex, and nice to see you once again. I hope you are doing well. I can see your title here is Raila unveils his ambitious plans for Africa. Yeah, I think Raila has been looking for this position for a very long time, and he has really campaigned a lot on this particular position. Hopefully, he will be able to get enough support to be the AUC Commission chair. Having said that, so many countries have supported Raila, but on the other hand, not everybody back here at home is happy with Raila getting that position because of the recent development. People in Mount Kenya region, especially those who support the former deputy president, Gachagua, feel that Raila is part of the reason why he's out of government. Now, many other young people, the Gen Zs who participated in the demonstrations last time, also feel that they were they were shortchanged that had Baba joined them, then probably would be talking about a different country today. So those would be my opening remarks, but I will contribute more as we continue with the show.
Okay, thank you, Mzalendo, for your opening remarks. I'm joined today by panelist Boniface Kimanzi, a big Chelsea fan. Bonnie, give us your opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Alex, for the show. Zalendo, I hope you are doing well. Personally, I'm doing well. And of course, as we deep on what is happening in the politics in the country, Kenya, and also East Africa, you just know that Raila has been given that authority by William Ruto to go and vie for the AU chairmanship, which is something that has really raised a lot of concerns as Raila is moving along with William Ruto. As the beneficiary of the Gen Z protest that happened in the country, So, loyal followers of Raila Amolo Odinga are still asking why this happened. And of course, politics is a daily game that if you're not keen, then you're going to get a U-turn. As Kenyans are now seeing the U-turn from Raila Amolo Odinga. Otherwise, I have no much to say. I am ready for the show as we see what is happening in Africa. What is Raila cooking behind? Is he going to be the king of Africa? Is he going to be the chairman of Africa? That is all what I have for politics. Just matters concerning sports. The Dimbal Afrique, we shall be back. It has been a while. Our loyal followers, we shall be back with Dimbal Afrique as we analyze some of the football events that happened. Don't forget, Manchester City has just lost their fourth consecutive game. That means that Pep Guardiola and his side they are struggling in the Premier League. So the question is, who is going to win this title? See, is it Arne Slot for the first time, or Aston Villa, or Chelsea, or Arsenal? Now the table is still shaking. So that is what we all have here. Fans concerning who support football, don't forget Real Madrid. They scored a lot of goals. Vinicius Junior, after being denied the Ballon d'Or, the guy can still deliver despite the racism that happened there. I have no much to say, but I'm ready for the show for the followers, of course. Zalena, I'm happy to see you for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, nice to see you, my brother. I don't know why you've been hiding, or you went to celebrate with Indiki in Meru. Hmm?
Okay, thank you, Bonnie, for your opening remarks. So let's get straight away to the regarding impeachment. What do my fellow panelists think were the main drivers behind the decision to impeach Deputy President Gashagwa?
Hmm?
I rephrase the question.
Uh, I don't know whether you want to repress it or not, but my opinion is that the more reason why Gashaga was impeached is because the president felt that he's not communicating well with the people of Kenya regarding the agenda that he wants for his government. That is one reason why he was impeached. But there are other whispers that the president that Rigathi was wanted to take over power from William Ruto. Those are also being said. Those are also being said. So we don't know the truth about it. So we will keep on watching the political landscape as it grows. Maybe as it unfolds, maybe something will crop up. But those are the reasons why what I had. Apart from the flimsy, hard kind of investigation, uh, which I felt it was unfair for Gashagwa. Those were the reasons that were presented by uh, by the government side. So Gashagwa is out, but Mount Kenya people feel that they have been shortchanged. They were part of this government for a long time. They formed this government, so they are hurting somewhere down the road. They feel that William Ruto really shortchanged them and had got plans to kick Gachagua out right from the beginning. That is my opinion on that issue. Yes.
Okay, Zalendo, thank you for your opening remarks. Let me read the question to you, Bonnie, and it says, what do you think were the main drivers behind the decision to impeach Deputy President Gashagwa?
Personally, I think Raila Amolo Odinga is the main drive of Gachagua impeachment because since the broad-based government was introduced into the UDA government, then is where the government started shaking. Of course, we don't know whether this was a mind game that was planned by William Ruto so that he can expel Gachagua from the government. We even don't know whether this was a plan for Raila Amolo Odinga that one day he will impeach, he will make sure that Gachagua goes home. As you know that Gachagua together with Raila Amolo Odinga, they have not been close. They have been eating each other in terms of words and also making sure that they don't have peace. We just saw them having good time during the 2023 climate summit that happened in the KICC, whereby Gachagua raised a lot of concerns that Raila was given a front seat there, but he wanted instead to interact with the other president, and yet he was not the president. The question that Gachagua really asked, who really brought Raila to the presidential podium, and yet he's not the president? So I think these two guys, they have not been close to each other, and maybe Raila used a mind game to beat Gachagua, and at the end of the day, the honest man from Mountain lost. So what we could see is that I think Raila Amolo Odinga is the secret behind the impeachment and also the downfall of Gachagua, because if then Raila was not into this government, Raila joined the government through those two guys, the top ministries who joined there, the likes of Joe, Badi, Oparanya. That is where Gachagua suspected things might go wrong. Yeah, I think Raila is the root for Gachagua downfall in the politics of 254.
Okay, thank you, Kimanzi, for your remarks on that, and a quick response. Do you believe this move was politically motivated or based on genuine governance?
I think this move was it was orchestrated by this politics. Yeah, politics is the main secret, and it is the driving force for this move.
Yes, okay. Thank you for your opinion, and let me ask these questions. You see, there is a time Francis Atwoli spoke about the government speaking in one voice. So we saw the deputy raised a very big issue in the country when he came out and spoke about this nation being a shareholding government, whereby the ones who voted for this government highly are the ones who are supposed to reap more, and the ones who did not vote, who did not truly believe in this government, should reap less. So, do you think that is one of the things that fueled his ouster from office?
Yeah, yeah. I think in Kenya, in Kenya, every move always has consequences. You just don't see Kindiki just being there as the deputy president, for example. So a move that happens in every minute in Kenya, there must be a secret behind that. So personally, I will agree with that because a lot of events have really unfolded since that happened in the country, Kenya. So what we have to say is that Kenya, when it comes to politics, we play a very dirty game, and that's why we are learning from America what they did. America, they did it in a polite way, but if this was Kenya, then you could have seen a lot of damages in the bombers of Kenya and events unfolding that are not really appealing to the public. So I think, yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, Bonnie, and do you
Mm.
think Gomzalendo?
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm getting tired of this Gashagwa story, and it is something that we are done with now. We need to be focusing on something else because Gashagwa is gone. We have Kindiki now. Uh, we want to see what he can deliver for the people of Kenya. As for the politics of Mount Kenya, we have got still some 2 more years to determine the direction of politics in Kenya. So right now, there's a lot of realignment in terms of our politics. But one thing I want to recommend, what I saw today, and really impressed me, is one Kalonzo Musyoka, when he talked about the abduction, mm, the abduction of Maverick and many other people who have been missing, who have been missing. So I think Kalonzo did a good thing to just remind the people that, so many Kenyans out there have been abducted, and again, the police have not accounted for the missing people. Even right now, if, as I speak, even my younger brother is missing, and we have been looking for him throughout most of the police stations in Kenya, but we can't really trace him. So tomorrow we have another day, and the cops, they don't seem to know anything. There's no proper coordination of even missing persons, so that we can find them wherever they are. So I think there is a lot needs to be done in the security department in Kenya, so that they can address the issue of missing persons, the issues of abduction, because this is a country where, even as we speak right now, nobody can call 911 or emergency service. There used to be 999. 999 was an emergency line that you would call, so that you get a quick response to whatever services that you need from the police. This government is not addressing that particular issue, and they need to be addressing this issue of abduction. We have seen the parliamentarians the same. We elected them in parliament to actually tell us, to represent us on uh, in parliament, and to raise concerns that is happening to their constituents. Now, none of these MPs has even raised the issue of Maverick Aoko. None of them have raised the issue of the youth who were killed during the Gen Zs who were killed during the demonstrations of the Gen Zs, and so many other demonstrations that have happened before. I have had this argument with many people who are saying that, is the issue of the Gen Zs more important than the issue of ODM supporters who were killed then? But you see, we need to start addressing these things, even if it is going back to address the other killings. We need to address it and come to a conclusion that, when a president and the deputy are elected in office, they should represent the people and not kill their own citizens. That is the problem we are having in our country. The police service is no longer a service to the people, but a service to the government of the day. So we are on our own, generally speaking, as Kenyans, and we ought to do something to salvage the situation. How we are going to do it, God knows, but it has to start from somewhere. I've seen political leader like Kalonzo speaking about it. Omalo has spoken about it. Raila mentions it once in a while. But we need these leaders to come out strongly and condemn the government. And and we see some heads rolling. We need to see some people fired. We need to see some policemen arrested in this case. And we need to identify where these people are. Mr. Ruto, we cannot continue with the government as usual, and so many people are missing. So many people are missing. So I hope that someone in government will pick up this information, and and avail it to the parents of this missing person. Some of them are even scared to come out because they feel that they might be the next victim of the government. But I have not even seen this girl called Aoko's parents appearing or coming out to say, we have not seen our daughter for the last so many days. So we need to put closure to this, and the only way we can put closure is by government addressing the issue properly. Thank you.
So thank you, Mzalendo, for your remarks. We move on swiftly to our next topic. So we have seen President William Ruto has been making headlines with his ambitious plan to vaccinate 22 million cattle in January 2025. This initiative highlights his administration's commitment to supporting agriculture, a vital part of Kenya's economy and livelihood for millions. So, to my panelists, Boni and Mzalendo, the plan to vaccinate 22 million cattle is ambitious and could significantly impact rural economies. Do you think government has the infrastructure and resources in places to achieve this goal by January 2025?
Bonnie, if you can go, or what maybe.
think I think the government is not well prepared. This government. If the government is serious and it's really in a process to help the citizens, then always it should consider human interest, infrastructure, food, shelter. Those basic things. Those are the kind of things that the government should do. That's why Kenya, we are far much behind when it compares to Tanzania and South Africa. Because those countries, whenever their presidents are in power, then they consider helping the citizens, developing infrastructure, ensuring that health is maintained, you know, all sources of income. Those countries, it depends with the source of income. Kenya, we are a very poor country. We depend on food. Some areas depend on food. Others, they depend on World Health food programs. You know, in different areas in Kenya, we are suffering from different things. We don't have food, we don't have water, we don't have roads. I think we are not ready. The country is not ready. Even the ministry is not ready to help the Kenya. That's why anything happens in those pastoralist countries, in pastoralist regions, the likes of northeastern Kenya, parts of Kambani, you'll see in Kambani when we have those diseases, then that is the end of the farmer who doesn't have even money to buy to keep the animals in safe conditions. So I think the government is not ready to help the citizens. They're just pushing so that they can get their money, and at the end of the day, they go to the ballot, and the Kenyans will just be cheated again. They will be briefed again, and they're going to vote for the Buddha government. I think until the moment we will be awake as Kenyans and vote for people who are ready to change this country, and that is the first stage of developing Kenya. But if we will continue like this, and I tell you, Kenyans will just cry all of their years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Uh, maybe I can say something about the abduction. You see, at the abduction, I'm so obsessed with abduction. And I can say something about this vaccination. This is an initiative by the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation, and the government knows that it will be sponsored by uh, uh, the advocates of climate change, and Bill Gates is very, very passionate about it. And again, the issue of promoting his vaccines which are on trial. Now, the thing is, the reason why these cows are being vaccinated, because you've never heard about this before, is because the cows are fatting, yaani ng'ombe zina nyamba nyamba na ile uchafu pia inatoa kwa mdomo. Hao wazungu they feel that it's polluting the environment, and they need a clean environment. That's the reason why these cows are being vaccinated. Nobody is talking about it, but it is being spoken to silently in Europe, that that is the aim of vaccinating all these cows. Tell me why cows are being vaccinated and they are healthy, and they have been living like that with their farmers, just taking care of them and giving them the basic vaccination. It is not that our cows are suffering from something like an epidemic, like COVID or polio, that is going to kill all the cows. It's a gimmick by the West, so that they can uh, they can test whatever they want to test with these animals.
A meeting. A meeting.
Mm.
Okay, Mzalendo, thank you for your take. And since we are there discussing agricultural issues, so they want to invest 22 million in vaccinating the cattle. And do you think really the government really has invested fully in agriculture to try and develop, to try and implement ideas, to try and see that farmers are able to generate more income than it is right now? Because I see this 22 million can be put to something substantial. If you give that to farmers, they can be able to try and implement better ideas to try and grow the agricultural sector. So, do you think really the government is doing enough in the agricultural sector in the country?
I don't know which sector they are doing so well, apart from abductions. So, in terms of agriculture being an economic driver in Kenya, those used to happen long time ago, maybe during Moi's time is when we saw a lot of agriculture happen. But right now, under this president and the former one, I think agriculture has gone down a bit. Although there is a potential in that area, I can't wait to see what this vaccine is going to provide for the animals. Yeah. So until we see what is happening in the paperwork, then we will just be speculating. Mhm.
Okay, over to you, Bonnie. Do you think really, Bonnie, the government is doing enough to try and invest in the agriculture or to try and grow the agricultural sector?
I think I think I've told you the government is not ready to serve Kenyans, so they are doing nothing when it comes to improving agriculture. Those are human interest areas, and those are the areas that government should consider when they are in the power. So they are doing nothing when it comes to human interest areas. So they are doing nothing to make this sector go ahead. Thank you.
uh, to my next question, and how do you guys see this initiative influencing President Ruto's support base, particularly among farmers and the rural communities? So, how do you see this initiative among his fan base, particularly among farmers and the rural communities? Over to you, Mzalendo.
Can you repeat the question, please?
I'm asking, how do you see this initiative influencing President Ruto's support base among particularly farmers and the rural communities?
I think for people who don't, you look at it in many ways. I look at it as an opportunity uh, for farmers to make sure that their livestock is healthy. I also look at it like a Western agenda to ensure that the climate change is mitigated. So I look at it in all those angles. But is it an important thing? We need to see what is in these vaccines that these cows are being offered. Is when you can actually comment from a point of knowledge. Otherwise, we will be speculating what is in those vaccines that the cows need. So I yeah.
Okay, over to you, Kimanzi. What Nini? Mm, what other support measures do you think the government should implement alongside this vaccination campaign to create a sustainable agricultural sector? Kimanzi, unmute your mic. So I think we have lost
On,
Kimanzi quite a
mm,
bit. So over to you, Mzalendo. What other support measures do you think the government should implement alongside this vaccination campaign to create a sustainable agricultural sector?
mm, agriculture is so straightforward. Most of the farmers know what they want to do with their livestock and their produce. The only thing that I feel that they should be doing a lot is to open the market for farmers to look for alternative markets. Because if we are flagging our meat with the Kenya Meat Commission, then that will be the only gateway. But we could open other markets, like for example in West Africa, they are consuming the skin for the cow. If the government can look into that direction and ensure that they get market through the government, because these people of West Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, and all that, they eat animal skin. So this skin is a delicacy in West African countries. So if it is something that can be marketed and shipped in those countries, I think it will bring a lot of revenue for our farmers. And the road network is good. We can always have something to smile about.
So as Boniface fixes his mic, so Mzalendo, I want us to digress a little bit, and there's something which the president spoke about in the previous holiday, which is the Mashujaa holiday, and there's something he spoke about saying that in countries like China and the rest who are in Asia, they are let me say let's put it this way. It's like there is a shortage of fish there. So he spoke about the blue economy, whereby the fish will be the farmer, not the farmers, the fishermen in Mombasa will be going there fishing, getting the fish, and that fish will be sold to other nations like China and the likes of Japan, and that is a way of the country generating foreign exchange. So that's what the president termed as the blue economy, which could be a significant thing for the people, of course, to try and make ends meet. Do you think, Mzalendo, that blue economy could really work?
Yeah, the idea of the blue economy is a good thing for Kenya. It is something that it's long overdue. I think it was first started by Kibaki, then with it's called
Uhuru.
Uhuru. Uhuru followed it up. For our viewers who don't understand what the blue economy refers to, is sustainable use of the oceans or the waters around, for example, Lake Victoria and the Indian Ocean. So this will affect the revenue and the economy of those particular areas uh, where people depend on fishing and uh, and uh, marine transport, like maritime time transport, like water boats within the lake, or within the ocean. So there is a lot of cruise tours that happen in oceans, like the Indian Ocean. I've not heard of a cruise ship that is built here in Kenya that is taking tourists across the Indian Ocean. So those are very very lucrative kind of businesses that can bring a lot of revenue if we had a government that is well organized. Now on places like Fangano Island, Rusinga Island, these are very beautiful islands surrounded by white sand uh, beaches. So these are good tourist attraction and destination. If they can put up some good hotels, very very good hotels, and make them affordable for the locals, then Mombasa will not be flooded, and people will be moving closer to the lake regions to boost the economy. So the economic contribution of the blue economy is good. It is very very good, and it will bring some sustainable development in those regions. So, but it needs a lot of organization and a lot of understanding and a lot of information from the locals, because the leaders that these people around the lake are, and the oceans are elected in the county government are not aware of the potential that they have within the waters. That water is their wealth, but they have not harnessed. You see, like for example, where I come from, in Omaha, uh, we don't have a fish factory. It used to be there, uh, but it closed down due to politics or maybe taxes, and they relocated to another country. Now, when that factory was there, when capital fish was there were fishery, very, very rich fishermen who could employ so many people in the lake, who would go fishing, and later on they collect their fish and they take them to this factory for shipping. So this is something that is missing. We need to start with what we have at home. We need to see so many industries around the lake. We also need some preservation of the tourist attractions that are within the ocean, like the coral reef and all those things. Those ones need some preservation. We also have got some animals that are endangered that live in the waters. Overfishing is also not very, very good, because you end up even fishing, even catching the small fish, so with the growth and the expansion of of that industry, it can stagnate when the government is not controlling fishing. So fishing has to be controlled, but it has to be done in a systematical way that the government understand and the people agree to. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for those remarks, Mzalendo. So Kimanzi, while you are away, we digressed a little bit and we chose to venture into the blue economy, and we were saying that President Ruto during the Mashujaa holiday spoke about him trying to he was in Kwale. He spoke about the blue economy, and he spoke about the plan for the fishermen there in Mombasa to go and to fish, and when they get the fish, it will be sold to countries like China and the likes of Japan, the countries that are in Asia. And he said that is a very good way for people, for the Kenya to earn foreign exchange and to boost our economy. So my question is, Do you think that blue economy will work sufficiently in Kenya?
You know, those are ministries that really don't matter in this country. If I would be asked, we should always consider agriculture, education, health, security, you know, those sensitive ministries in the country. So if you're telling me about blue economy, yes, we are going to get the fishing. You know, we have fishing activities that take place, but fishing is not the main activity. It's not the main economic activity of the people of Kenya. We should consider main economic activity. What do Kenyans get from that sector? So if we say then fishing is the main economic activity, how are the people in Ukambani region, Wajia, Garissa are going to benefit? Of course, Kenya is not a landlocked country. We only have that coastal region, and of course, it's beneficial to our country. But do we need to put more effort on that? No. So if I would be asked, then I would say 100% that that is a total no. We should not. Let's focus with the major areas that are going to help the people of Kenya. Just let's take our citizens serious. The same way other countries take their citizens serious. You know, our leaders, they don't consider citizens as one of the key areas. They just go there, squander resources, and after the end of the day, after 5 years, they go home or they are already full. Now they can give the stick to the next person. So I think no, big no.
So and okay, so I think Kimanzi, each and every area here in Kenya has a stronghold, and everyone is trying to make ends meet in the best way. So using the resources that we have, knowing that here in Kenya our things are limited and we are still being very suppressed. So do you think we wouldn't be turning a blind eye to the blue economy, since it could be beneficial to Kenyans at large, and not just the people of Coast. Also, there is people of Kisumu who they can sell the fish to go and try and make ends meet there. And for the people of Kambani, they have their stronghold because we are just like 1 month or 2 months away to January. Then the people of Kambani will be selling mangoes. It's very well known for mangoes. We love the mangoes that come from there. So don't you think Boni will be turning a blind eye to the blue economy if we say we had to look at other sectors, knowing well that that is something which might be of big benefit to the people of Coast?
You know, if you do that, you'll be considering the people of coastal area. Yeah, we should distribute resources equally to the people of Kenya.
Okay, that's why I said every area has a stronghold, and yes, resources should and will be distributed in everywhere. So I think, and we also have to extract resources from everywhere, and so we move swiftly. The third thing we have to talk about is the post relation between Kenya and the USA. And so we have seen Donald Trump clinched the presidency in the United States. And so my question is, with President Ruto congratulating Donald Trump on his victory, what changes do you anticipate in US Kenya relations under the new American administration?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Yes. Did you ask me that question, Alex? Yeah.
Yes, I was asking.
Uh,
Uh,
I think there will be, Donald Trump is not your usual president. Donald Trump puts America first in everything that he does. He doesn't give a damn about what you do in your country. it puts the interest of American first, and American allies are the people that he feels that are important to the American society. Now, the only thing I know that will not be business as usual is the free money that comes from the American government to African countries. And that is what is worrying them a lot. Because this the president has sworn to streamline his government, cut down the cost and unnecessary expenditures to countries that cannot govern themselves, or are not productive uh, to the American people. So that is what Donald Trump is planning to do. There'll be a lot of cuts in whatever funding and donation that is going to Kenya, unless it's a program that benefits the American people directly. Then I don't think that it will be a business as usual. The Kenyan troops in Haiti. I want to see how the president will react to that. President Donald Trump will react to the issue of Haiti with the Kenyan soldiers there. That is something that you need to look into moving moving in the next few months or so when they start streamlining their policies. Otherwise, it is good that we wait to see what his foreign policy looks like.
Okay, so to you, Kimanzi, let me rephrase the question. It says, with President Ruto congratulating Donald Trump on his victory, what changes do you anticipate in U.S. Kenya relations under the new American administration?
Uh, I think personally, I think this is not something that really means good for the Kenyans because Kenyans, as the president of Kenya, Donald Trump wanted to. That is the president of Kenya, that is William Samuel Ruto, wanted Kamala Harris to win. So it's a lose for Kenyans because maybe they wanted to do some of the deals with the USA, and this is a superpower, and this is a country that has been helping Kenya for a long time. But I think even the ambassador for USA, she spoke and she said that whatever she will be doing in Kenya, then it will be as the president has issued. Yeah, so I think the president has lost, but William Ruto is not a president who will be just losing anyhow. You know, so people of Kenya depend on USA for some donations. We have the USA that really helps people in the northern part of Kenya. A lot of people depend on this country, that is this USA nation. So I think unless the president still establishes a strong relationship together with the Trump, then we might not get the money that is channeled from USA to Kenya. But I know things are going to add up. It's going to fix and go and talk to Trump. But US elections, they taught us a lot. That Kenya, we are far much behind because they voted and they even questioned why do foreign countries are so much concerned about the election. That is what they were asking. So I think this is a loss for Kenya. But Trump is a good leader who can make this nation of USA move ahead. But to Kenyans, I think it's a big loss because the president is not so close together with Donald Trump. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, okay, Bonnie. Thank you for your views on that. We still on that. The next question is Kenya was recently designated a major non-NATO ally of the USA, and how might this status influence diplomatic or trade opportunities between the two nations in the coming years? Zalendo, could you give us your remarks.
I think Zalendo is not around. Zalendo is not around.
Okay, so Bonnie, we continue with the issue of US as we try to finish. Kenya was recently designated a major non-NATO ally of the US. So how might this status influence diplomatic or trade opportunities between the two nations in the coming years? And so the question is this: do you think this alignment with the US will affect Kenya's relations with other countries, particularly within African Union and other regional partnerships?
No, it will not affect. It will not affect. This is just people speculating. It will not affect the relationship between Kenya and those other countries. That is my own point of view, because how is it going to affect? And yet we know most countries they depend on USA, not even Kenya. In East Africa, you see, even if you go to the Google, you will see East Africa countries depending on USA for donations. Yeah, I think USA is a superpower, and from its rich resources, then a lot of countries they depend on that continent. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you, Bonnie, for your remarks as we wait from Zalendo to come back. We move on swiftly as we to the last discussion of the day, which is about Oscar Sudi. So Oscar Sudi has some allegations of corrupt people, and Oscar Sudi has claimed he'll expose officials involved in rigged tenders. How significant do you think these revelations could be for the current administration and the public trust in government? And of course, we know Oscar Sudi has been one of the people who have been against the truthful man. The truthful man has been complaining about some of Ruto's people coming after him. One of them is Oscar Sudi, the likes of Farouk Kibet, the likes of Dennis Itumbi. So those are the people who have clashed with the truthful man. So the question to my panelist is, how significant do you think these revelations could be for the current administration and the public trust in government? Because he said he's going to expose rigged tenders. So, Bonnie, what's your take on that? So, I think we've lost Bonnie. So, Oscar Sudi, Oscar Sudi, of course, is the member of parliament for the people of Kapseret, and he claimed he's going to expose officials involved in rigged tenders. So, Bonnie, Bonnie, can you hear me? From Zalendo.
Yes.
Yes, as I was asking, Oscar Sudi has claimed he'll expose officials involved in rigged tenders. How significant do you think these revelations could be for the current administration and the public trust in government?
I think there's a lot of mistrust in when it comes to this government. I don't know who trusts this government on any issue. Whether it will expose them or not. The question is, this government has been implicated in a lot of corruption scandals when it comes to procurement and all that. And those are the officials that represent the government of William Ruto. So I don't know
when he will be doing this, he will be exposing William Ruto, or he will be exposing William Ruto's workers. You've seen Morara going around exposing the government projects that have been stolen, money stolen, running into billions. So who are you? Will you be exposing? That is the question.
Okay, yes, and on that issue of exposing, Kenyans also question how Oscar Sudi made his money. People also question his papers. So you also question his appointment in office, since people don't really believe the constitution was upheld. Because if it was upheld, Oscar Sudi doesn't have a degree to be an MP for the people of Kapseret. So, Bonnie, what's your
You
take on
see,
Oscar Sudi saying?
you see, uh, it's not a requirement for an MP to have a university degree. It's no longer a requirement. You must just have the secondary basic education.
Yes, true, Mzalendo, I agree with what you're saying. But before the 2022 elections, see, I think there was an issue of that people's papers being questioned, because we saw the likes of Jalango going to finish campus so that he can be qualified to vie for the MP for Langat.
I
I
think
thought so,
education
but
is not a key thing in this country. Not key. Nowadays, education is not key. But you don't go to school so that you can get employed, you can get a top position. You just be creative and innovative. So that is all what I think. And Oscar Sudi, those are close members of William Ruto. So if they speak, then you know it's Ruto speaking. The likes of Gerald Gay, the likes of Chungwa, those are the close members of William Ruto. And whenever they speak, then you know that is the William Ruto speaking. So I can say that Sudi being so loud in Kenya, this is a major signal that you know William Ruto is speaking. You know, so whatever Sudi says, then you know he said that we are going to expel Gachagua, and that happened. He said that we are going to deal with anyone who is going to uh, divide Kenyans. You saw them saying that Gachagua is one of the people who are dividing this country, and now they are done with Gachagua. I think those are close members of Ruto who really speak, and Ruto doesn't need to go and speak, but those close guys, whenever they speak, Sudi will be in the government until William Ruto is out of this government. Those close members, you know, Ruto is very loyal and he really means what he said. Those are the guys who were helping Ruto during the ICC, you know, the likes of Kindiki during 2022 when we had the deep state, the government, media houses supporting Raila. They were close to Ruto, and that is why whenever when they won the election, then that is how they are trying to act now. It's not yet. We are going to see more in this country. Yeah.
Okay, so we move on to the next question, which is how do you think the government should respond to these allegations of corruption to show a serious commitment to transparency and accountability? Over to you, Mzalendo.
this is what I think, and this is very radical. Corruption should be like a capital offense. Uh, uh, you should be jailed for a maximum of a maximum life sentence, if not even a death penalty. Maybe if that happens, then people would stop. And for people who are corrupt in the highest office, it should be a death penalty. For people who are not high in office there, then it should not be a death penalty. It should be maybe 10 years. But for people who in government are stealing money that belongs to the people, you should go in for at least 10 years, or for at least a life sentence. Make it a capital offense. Mm.
Okay, okay, Mzalendo. Thank you for your remarks. Over to you, Kimanzi. How do you think the government should respond to these allegations of corruption to show a serious commitment to transparency and accountability?
The government should be just honest to the Kenyans. They should stop corruption. That's all what I think.
Okay, thank you guys for the responses you have given me to your question. So my last question as we close the show is do you think the judiciary is under something that which I call the state capture? Do you think the judiciary is a puppet to the to the head of state? Do you think that Mzalendo go first? Do you think we really have a judiciary that upholds the constitution?
When when it favors the political class, as we have seen before, uh, they will quote sections of the constitution, but sometimes they violate the constitution in order to serve the interest of the executive, the presidency. So the presidency is the appointing authority and remains so. Without the president, there will be no those judges because they have to be vetted in parliament. So it is a place uh, where you can see them being manipulated by the same authority that appointed them because they know they can be impeached also in through parliament. Okay, so in many countries, and this is where we don't really get it, judicial officials should always work closely with the government. And why am I saying that? Not by breaking the law, but ensuring that the government follows the law and the citizens are also law-abiding citizens. Because the courts can also be used to sabotage the government. That is why in countries like America, the Supreme Court judges are appointed for life, and they are appointed in when one retires, and luckily you find a president in office, then the president will be able to appoint a judge that is going to serve the interest of that political party and the things that they believe in. So it is a political office. That is what people should know. As much as it serves the law, it serves the people. It is a political office, so that at times it will make political decisions.
Okay, over to you, Bonnie. As we wind up the show, do you think really the judiciary is an independent body, or do you think they are the puppets of the executive?
The judiciary in this country should be independent. Of course, this is the arm of the government that protects Kenya. But from what you have been saying, then you know that the judiciary is not independent. And if judiciary was independent, and of course, you would have seen, you see, what happened during the Gachagua case. I think that is the time that you could notice that the judiciary is not independent. You see, Gachagua still there fighting. I think judiciary is not independent, and we should just scrap it away.
Okay, Kimanzi, thank you for your remarks. Thank you, Zalendo, for your remarks. We have done more than 60 minutes show, and we have been able to break down things for today. Asanteni sana kwa panelists here on the show. I believe the viewers have learned something. I believe everyone today has learned something new, and we have tried to invoke change in the society. Today, I haven't seen Gypsy and Osam in the comment section, but I hope to see them tomorrow. And there will be more shows coming, more shows on Afrique. There will be a show. Dimba is coming soon by Kimanzi. It's and we also have Zalendo Uncensored, and I will also be here to host any show
But
that
you
we
know
have.
Man City imepoteza bwana. Man City imepoteza mechi 3 hapo.
Ni mechi 4 ikifuatana, and
Haya.
Liverpool walikuwa wanacheza na Aston Villa. I don't know how the game has gone,
Bado
and
ni 1-0, 1-0.
tomorrow we have a big game, Chelsea versus Arsenal. Kimanzi, tupatie prediction.
Kuna gari inaenda sasa.
Pardon. So as we close, Mzalendo, give us your closing remarks. So awesome, I see you there in the comment section. You're saying the judiciary is independent. The only problem when they rule against anything is not aligning with your thoughts. It becomes not independent. So awesome, thank you for joining us on the show. I see you there in the comment section, and I know you guys were looking for Mzalendo. Ndio huyu hapa leo, mlikuwa mmemiss. Thank you for joining us. Metupata as we went up the show, and like I said before, there will be more shows coming. Kuna Dimba, the Mzalendo Uncensored, and I will also be hosting another show. So asanteni kwa kuja, and we see each other tomorrow. Thank you. Till then, goodbye.